Andalusian food comes from the south of Spain, a land of sun and history. The cooking here is simple and full of fresh flavors. It tells the story of the many people who have lived in this beautiful region over centuries. They brought with them new ingredients and new ways of cooking. Think of golden olive oil, sweet oranges and fragrant spices. These are the gifts that history has left in the Andalusian kitchen. This style of cooking is not complicated. It celebrates the natural taste of the food itself, making every meal a small piece of Spanish sunshine on a plate. It is food for families, for friends, and for sharing happy moments together. This wonderful heritage is perfectly captured in a dish called chicken Andalusian, or it is a classic meal that you will find in many homes across the region. It is a warm and comforting stew, filled with tender chicken and colorful vegetables. The recipe is a beautiful example of how simple ingredients can come together to create something truly special. It is a dish that has been passed down through generations, with each family adding its own small personal touch. It represents the heart of Spanish home cooking, where love and tradition are the most important ingredients of all. The beauty of Andalusian cuisine lies in its connection to the land. Farmers grow wonderful vegetables under the warm Spanish sun, and their produce is the star of many dishes. Peppers, tomatoes, and onions form the base of countless recipes, providing a rich and sweet foundation. The use of good olive oil is also essential. It is the liquid gold of Andalusia. This region produces some of the best olive oil in the world, and its fruity, gentle flavor enhances everything it touches. This is not just about eating, it is about experiencing the culture and the landscape of southern Spain through its food. So, when we cook a dish like chicken Andalusian, we are doing more than just making dinner. We are connecting with a long and rich history. We are bringing the warmth and hospitality of a Spanish home into our own kitchen. This dish is a perfect introduction for anyone new to Spanish cooking because it is forgiving and easy to make. It does not require special skills, only a love for good, honest food. It is a journey to a sunny place, a delicious exploration of flavors that are both simple and profound, and a wonderful way to feed the people you care about. To begin our culinary journey, we must first gather our ingredients. For this recipe, you will need about 1 kilogram of chicken pieces. You can use thighs, drumsticks, or a whole chicken cut into portions. The bone in pieces will give the stew a much richer flavor. Next, you will need a good amount of olive oil, about 4 tablespoons. This is the heart of Spanish cooking, so try to use a nice extra virgin olive oil if you can. You will also need 1 large onion, chopped finely, and 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, also chopped. These will form the aromatic base of our dish, building a foundation of savory flavor. Now, let's add the beautiful colors of the garden. You will need 1 red bell pepper and 1 green bell pepper. Cut them into strips or chunks as you prefer. These peppers will not only add a lovely sweetness, but also make the dish visually stunning. We will also use 2 large ripe tomatoes, which you can chop or grate. The tomatoes will break down during cooking to create a luscious, rich sauce. For a little bit of Spanish flair, we will add a handful of green olives. They provide a wonderful briny, salty taste that cuts through the richness of the other ingredients, adding another layer of complexity. The spices we use are simple yet powerful. You will need 1 teaspoon of sweet paprika, known as in Spain. This spice gives the dish a beautiful reddish color and a mild, smoky flavor. A pinch of saffron threads is also a classic addition, though it is optional. Saffron will give the sauce a gorgeous golden hue and a unique, delicate aroma that is unmistakably Spanish. We will also use a bay leaf for a subtle herbal note. Finally, you will need salt and freshly ground black pepper to season the chicken and the final stew to your personal taste. To complete our list, we need some liquid to create the wonderful sauce. You will need about half a cup of dry white wine. The wine adds a bright acidity and depth of flavor as it cooks down. If you prefer not to use wine, you can use chicken broth instead. You will also need about 1 cup of chicken broth to make sure the chicken cooks until it is perfectly tender and the sauce is plentiful. Having all your ingredients prepared and ready before you start cooking will make the process smooth, easy, and very enjoyable. This preparation is the first step to a successful and delicious meal. Let's begin the cooking process. It is simpler than you might think. First, we prepare the chicken. Pat the chicken pieces dry with a paper towel. This helps them to brown nicely in the pan. Season them generously on all sides with salt and freshly ground black pepper. Now, heat the olive oil in a large heavy-bottomed pot or a deep skillet over medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, carefully place the chicken pieces in the pan, making sure not to overcrowd it. You may need to do this in 2 batches. Cook the chicken for a few minutes on each side until it is a lovely golden brown color. Don't worry about cooking it all the way through at this stage. Once the chicken is browned, remove it from the pot and set it aside on a plate. Now, turn the heat down to medium. In the same pot, using the same flavorful oil, add the chopped onion. Cook the onion gently, stirring occasionally until it becomes soft and translucent. This should take about 5 to 7 minutes. Then, add the chopped garlic and cook for just 1 more minute until you can smell its wonderful aroma. Be careful not to let the garlic burn, as it can become bitter. This step builds the first layer of flavor for our delicious sauce, using the tasty bits left behind by the chicken. Next, it is time to add our colorful vegetables. Add the sliced red and green bell peppers to the pot. Continue to cook them with the onions and garlic for about 5 minutes until they begin to soften. Now, stir in the sweet paprika and the saffron threads if you're using them. Let them cook for about 30 seconds to release their fragrance and toast slightly. Then add the chopped tomatoes and the bay leaf. Stir everything together well. The tomatoes will release their juices and start to form a thick, beautiful base for our stew. This combination of vegetables and spices is what makes the dish so vibrant. Now we will bring everything together. Pour in the white wine and let it bubble for a minute or 2, scraping the bottom of the pot to lift any browned bits. This adds a lot of flavor. Return the browned chicken pieces to the pot, nestling them into the vegetable mixture. Add the green olives and pour in the chicken broth. The liquid should come about halfway up the chicken. Bring the stew to a gentle simmer, then reduce the heat to low. Cover the pot with a lid and let it cook slowly for about 40 to 50 minutes, or until the chicken is cooked through and incredibly tender. The magic of chicken Andalusian lies in the way each simple ingredient contributes to the final taste and appearance. The red and green bell peppers are not just there for decoration. They release a gentle sweetness as they cook, balancing the acidity of the tomatoes. They also hold their shape well, adding a pleasant texture and beautiful bright spots of color to the finished dish. The onions, cooked slowly until soft, melt into the sauce, giving it a deep savory foundation that is both sweet and mild. It is this careful layering of simple vegetables that builds a complex and satisfying flavor profile without any difficult techniques. The spices, though used in small amounts, play a very important role. The sweet paprika, or is the soul of many Spanish dishes. It infuses the oil and the sauce with its warm, smoky essence and gives the stew a rich, inviting reddish-brown color that is truly appetizing. If you choose to add saffron, you will be rewarded with a subtle, luxurious aroma and a beautiful golden tint that whispers of its Spanish origins. The single bay leaf works quietly in the background, adding a faint herbal note that brings all the other flavors together in perfect harmony, making the dish complete. The combination of white wine and chicken broth creates a sauce that is both light and full of flavor. The wine adds a touch of brightness and acidity, cutting through the richness and lifting the taste of the entire dish. The chicken broth contributes a savory depth, ensuring the sauce is not watery, but instead has a satisfying body. As the chicken simmers slowly in this liquid, it absorbs all these wonderful flavors, becoming incredibly moist and tender. At the same time, the chicken itself releases its own juices, further enriching the sauce in a beautiful exchange of flavors that happen slowly in the pot. I encourage you to bring this taste of southern Spain into your own home. Do not be afraid to try this recipe. It is a friendly dish for cooks of all levels, and it is a joy to prepare and to share. You can serve it with crusty bread to soak up every last drop of the delicious sauce, or perhaps with some simple boiled potatoes or rice. It is a complete and wholesome meal in one pot. Cooking chicken Andalusian is more than just following steps. It is about creating a moment of warmth and connection. So please, gather your ingredients and enjoy the simple, beautiful process of making this wonderful dish.